Ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year. It is January 1st, 2020. It is New Year's Day. I've been doing some trout fishing. I have some tips, tricks, and catches for you today. I hope the holidays were good to all of you and your family. It was great here. Personally, I'm exhausted and I'm glad it's over. I not only have a video today full of trout catches, but also first we'll head out to the garage and I will go through some of my rigging and some tips and tricks on what I've been doing to catch all these trout. So let's head out to the garage, go over some gear, and then we'll get to those fish catches right now. If you've seen the first video, you know I pretty much went completely unprepared and had a rod that was given to me by a friend while I was in between getting a new one for myself. I do have one now. I picked up a Fluger Tryon little ultralight setup. It's been great. I've had zero issues with it. The one thing I do have an issue with is the line that I put on it. I put on a 3-pound fluorocarbon from Spiderwire. I cannot stand this line, so I'm going to be switching this out with minimal reason why it should. It just frays all over the place, just lots of fraying. Now when I showed up to that lake, I had a guy nice enough on his way out to hand off a little inline spinner, and that's what this is right here. This is actually the one that he gave to me, and it was great. Better than trying to catch him with a bass lure. That was not going so well. I also have a couple more here that I have, and they also work well depending on the situation and what they want. Now with the inline spinners, most of the time I put it out there and just kind of slow roll it in. I'll kind of let it die off a little bit, slow roll it in, let it die, slow roll it in. But not too much. I never really let the inline spinners hit the ground because that's kind of defeats the purpose of them. The blade, the spinning blade on there, it creates a flash that they want to go after. Something I've been having a lot of success with is rubber worms, which I never really thought of too much with trout fishing. As far as the only time I really fished for trout was mostly on a fly rod with flies. And then also I used an ultralight a couple times previous to this season and basically used fly type lures. At one point I was at the river and I did try a piece of pink and white worm on a little hook, kind of nose hooked, and I would just throw it out and just let it ride down, throw it out, let it ride down, and then they would chase it sometimes, but it wasn't enough for me to think it was anything. That all now has completely changed. So this is what we got. I got these 2 3/4 inch worms. I have like an iridescent pink. I have like a neonish orange, I guess a fluorescent orange, and a bubblegum pink. Now I did have chartreuse, yellow chartreuse, but I'm out of those because they were going after them all day, so I just stuck with those. Since the video I'm about to show you of catching all the trout, I've since been back there and tried a few different things. Pink, orange, they all worked. I realize now it was more about how I rigged it and the presentation I gave to them rather than the color or really size and profile. But size and profile and color definitely will make a bit of a difference one way or another. So basically this is how I rig it. I put on a small hook. It is a number 8 or number 10, just a small hook, right? And then about, I would say, 18 inches down, I have a small slip shot sinker. So I have the tiny hook down to a slip shot sinker about 18 inches down. Now this is how I rig it. I'll take my little bitty hook and I'll take my worm. Now I take this 2 3/4 worm, right? I'll fold it in half basically where I just have this kink in the top. Then I'll take my hook and I will go through the end, but both pieces basically, and come out the other side. Now when I do this, it kind of looks like this, and I'll open it up a little bit, but That's basically how I rig it right there. I go right through the center, but kind of get both pieces hooked at the same time. Now, I'll throw it out there, and when I'm pulling it in, it's almost like it has wings when it's coming through the water, right? So that's it for my rigging tip, but here's the trick, and this is what I do. I will throw it out there, and sometimes I'll just slow roll it back in, and it's kind of dying off as it goes, and you'll feel a bite. All right, there's that way. Or I will throw it out there and just completely let it die. I'll completely let it die, sink, sit for a minute, and I'll just soak it and let it sit. And a lot of times, you'll get a hit. So I bring it along and I let it die. That sinker's pretty slow because it's not very big. But when it hits the bottom, boom, the worm just kind of slow falls, free falls down. That's usually when they hit it. Sometimes they'll wait till it's almost on the ground or just hit the ground, and they'll boom, pick it up and take off running. They take little small bites. They'll just hit the end, they'll pull it. The way that I stay consistent and waste the least amount of time is I'll put it out there and I'll slow roll it and I'll let it die. And I'll slow roll it and I'll let it die until I start getting solid hits. That's really a good indication of how they want that bait to move. That's what they're looking for that day. That's the speed that they want to be moving in. So I'll continue to do that. Not only will I do that, I'll let the bait die. I'll let the sinker hit the ground. I'll let the worm come down. And if I don't get a hit, I'll pop it up, bring that sinker up, let it hit the ground, die, and let it free fall again. Within the first 2 or 3 times, almost guaranteed they're hitting it. I would say 50% of the time, I would feel that hit, go to set the hook, and it would pull it right out of his mouth. A lot of times they're not going to take the whole thing. They're just going to grab it by the end. I'll throw it out there, I'll let it die, I'll feel that bite, but I'm watching my line right where it meets the water. What I started doing while I'm watching that line is if I feel that strike and that line moves left, right, forward, back, if that line moves, boom, I set the hook right there. They tend to bite things and then spit it right back out. Bite it, spit it right back out. Or like I said before, not take the whole thing. So a lot of times they'll bite and spit it out and then grab it again and take off. That's when I set the hook. Just watch your line where it meets the water. And if that line, if you feel a bite and that line doesn't move, probably just hit it and spit it back out. Just let it sit. Let it sit till that line starts to move. As soon as you see that line move, boom, set that hook. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm far from a professional, but I do love to fish, and I love to pass on things that I learn along the way. If you have any tips and tricks for catching lake trout, put them in the comments below for other people to read. I really hope maybe a few of the things in this video help you catch some more trout. If they do, let me know. But right about now, let's get into landing some of those trout. There we go. There we go. Oh, that hook just fell right out. There it goes. Got my net with me this time. I don't have to try to manhandle every single one of them. Alright, going with the wacky chartreuse. There we go. It looks that way, yeah. Looks nice too. Oh, and he came off. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's a good one. Come on, stay on. Oh, stay on. Stay on. There we go. Look at that. There we go. All right. Chartreuse worm for the win. It is freaking cold. My hands are just on fire. They're freezing. There we go. There we go. Got him. Ooh. Whoa, yeah. This one's got some fight. Look at him go. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Go for it, bud. Oh man, this one's beautiful. Great looking trout right there. There we go. Oh, there we go. He's an acrobat. Yeah. Awesome. There he goes. Off he goes. Got him. Oh. Oh man, he spit that sucker right back out at me. There we go. Got him. Yeah. It's on. Whew. Right in the top of the mouth. There we go. Another beaut. Go. Got it. There we go. Oh, I caught this one way out there. I just let it die and just fall all the way to the bottom. He picked it up. Little one. Oh. Let him wear himself out a little bit. Yeah. There we go. That's a good one. That's a good size one. Off he goes. Got him. Ooh. He's running. Come here. All I have left is white and pink and white. So, on my exit out, playing around, having some fun, we will throw pink and white, see if we can catch anything on it. Let's get one more for the road. Night trout. Oh yeah. There we go. There's my night trout. Got him. Yeah, he's a good one. Fills up the net well. I don't know if you can see him very well with the sun down now, but that's it, folks. That's the last trout of the day. We're gonna call it quits. Come on, you got a guy in my net. Can't live in there forever. All right. See you later. It's time to go home. Goodbye, lake.